everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am your host, Laura Afonso, and we are live here for GoLocal Prov in downtown Providence. And we have some mouth-watering local eats in store for you all today. And we are starting off with a really strong one. Sean Larkin from Revival Brewing Company, thank you so much for joining us
You're
today.
welcome. Thanks for having me today. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Of course. You are really like making some big waves here in Rhode Island between beer and, you know, the word on the street is the ramen is what's going on.
It's very controversial, but we're pretty psyched about it. It's doing really well in Cranston.
So before we really get into everything, I really want to hear about your backstory. What got you into all of this? When did you start brewing beer and how?
So I started in culinary school right after high school. Worked for about 2 years before transitioning into a brewing career. So in '96, I started working for Trinity Brew House. I started working for Narragansett in about 2006, part-time doing recipe consulting, and then somewhere around 2009 is when I decided I wanted to start Revival. And I got together with some business partners and made some plans, and then started slowly, and here we are today.
Wow. So you're no stranger to some hops.
No, no stranger to jumping through hops or hoops.
No, definitely not. So what was your vision for Revival when you had the idea come to mind?
I mean, really, I think back in the day, the craft beer landscape in Rhode Island was much different. There was 5 breweries. We were brewing a lot of beer at Trinity that people were really excited about, and they were asking, when they could get these beers in different formats. And really, my entrepreneurial spirit is what led me to wanting to do something for myself. The folks at Trinity are still super supportive of my career and everything that we've done. But basically, I outgrew that place after 17 years and just wanted to do some stuff that was Rhode Island-centric to bring to either the Eastern Seaboard or the national market, depending on what our lofty goals were back in the day.
Goals can never get too big, though, right?
No.
Awesome.
You got to stay focused.
Of course. So talk to me about beer. You know just about everything there is to know about brewing it, drinking it, loving it. What have you got brewing, and what's going on in the beer industry?
So we're basically, we've got 2 releases this weekend. We're going to release our Oceanic State Pale Ale, which is called the Hammer, and then Neffy, which is our Imperial Red Ale. We're going to release that on Sunday. The craft beer market in Rhode Island and in general in the U.S. is uber competitive. Luckily, we've been in this game for a long time, and we have a very good craft beer reputation.
Absolutely.
As well as our reputations within the food community and working with different folks. So really what Revival is trying to stay rooted in is the partnership between food and beer at the same time, if that makes any sense. I don't know. We'll see.
Definitely. What kind of trends are you seeing in craft beer right now?
Still a lot of certainly hazy IPAs. People are definitely chasing new hop varieties and going after that. The fruited sours have taken off for us. Pinky Swear is notorious. Hailberry did really well. We've got 3 other real big fruited sours that are going to come out over the summertime.
Yeah, sours are pretty big right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's been a huge trend for a long time. But we're pretty excited about it. Last year I was apprehensive about doing it, but Pinky Swear was so successful that we couldn't not continue the trend.
So tell me about Pinky Swear and what made it so popular.
So Pinky Swear is basically a raspberry kettle sour. There's a difference between spontaneous sour beers, which are wild yeast doing what they do, and it takes a longer period of time to ferment them. And then there are what's called kettle sours, which are basically beers that you'll add lactic acid to and or yogurt or some other catalyst to speed up the pH process from changing from 5.5 down to like 3.5. So you have more of an acidic style beer. So usually what happens is we brew our beer, we'll let it sit over the weekend in the kettle at its desired temperature, and then the pH falls from 5.5 to about 3.5, which basically gives something a very tart flavor. The addition of fruit, in the case of Pinky Swear, we're doing raspberry puree, is like the perfect match for that sweet and tart. So, and it's super refreshing for the summertime. It like has taken off like nobody's business. So we've been pretty excited about it.
Definitely. Great for the change of season.
Oh, absolutely.
We're all ready for it.
I'll sometimes start my morning with it. Maybe not.
I don't blame you.
No.
Instead of orange juice, just go with that.
Yeah, it's like a smoothie, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and you guys, you have some really incredible flavors and a lot of depth, and it really is an intricate process that goes into it, because I would have never, really expected all of that to go into making a beer.
Yeah, it's way more involved than just like pouring bags of stuff into stuff. You know, in high school when they said you'll use algebra and chemistry, I definitely shook that off, and now that's, you know, pretty much my entire life. So that's the iron.
Everything has to be just the right balance.
Absolutely, yeah.
Definitely. Now, you mentioned before that you like to keep things local in Rhode Island and working with Rhode Islanders. I love that you do a lot of collaborations between small businesses, restaurants, keeping it connected in the local industry. Tell me about some of the people who you've collabed with recently, and why you always, you know, keep this trend going.
I think it's things, I don't like things that are forced, so a lot of the collaborations were things that happen naturally. The very first collaboration we ever did were with the folks from White Electric Coffee Company.
Definitely.
When we were over at Trinity Brew House, I was using their coffee to create the White Electric Coffee Stout, and then when Revival left Trinity, we were able to put it into bottles first and then cans next. White Electric's always been sort of the cultural hub of arts and music, and definitely my favorite coffee shop. Shout out to Tom and Heather. I love you guys. Thank you. So we partnered with them first. Over time, we've done collaborations with both the folks from Brass Monkey and El Rancho to do the Holy Mole beer. We've done Tranquilo with them. Who else have we done collaborations with? Granny Squibs. Granny Squibs is the most recent in the past 2 years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we did a iced tea style pale ale with green tea called the Daring that we released probably about 2 years ago. And this year we're reformulating that. And then also you mentioned Shane from Burgundy, and we just did a collaboration with those guys. So, you know, there are things that naturally fall into place and partnerships that make sense, and we try not to force it. So that's how we stylize it.
Yeah, I really loved the rosé beer. I think that one was a lot of fun, really, really popular.
We were psyched about it. It's some of my favorite artwork that's sort of, you know, come out of our camp. Our designer, AJ Paglia, shout out to him, is down in Georgia, and really it's like a lot of late night phone calls between him and I when we talk about what we want to do. The rosé artwork is so strong and resonated so much, and we had such a short season with it that we can't wait to re-release it again this year. So we're pretty excited about it.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned that. I've been thinking about your artwork. It's just absolutely beautiful, and across the board, it's always a different message, but always consistently, you know, unique to what your brand is representing.
It's very, you know, it was one of those things where we trusted him to build our brand in that way. You know, and in the beginning, I wanted to try to micromanage a lot of those things, you know, design elements, brewing of the beer, and it was best to, you know, give it away to AJ, who just knocks it out of the park. And, you know, I can't ask for a better partner in crime on that. So thanks, AJ.
Yeah, he does a really fantastic job.
He's all right.
Absolutely. So, talk to me about your recent expansion, what you've got going on Aqueduct.
Whew. Well, it's a lot of lost sleep. We moved our tap room up from the basement to the entirety of the restaurant at 505. Eventually, the whole restaurant will get its redesign, but right now, we've worked really hard on stabilizing the food and the menu and really delivering, you know, our version of street food, you know, in its quote-unquote essence. You know, really what street food means to us are, you know, things that you would find either on a cart or at a late night spot, you know, on the side of the road. We're not trying to, you know, search for tenderloin or super premium cuts of meat. You know, we're trying to do the types of food that you would find, I say like peasant, but peasant's probably the wrong word, more like common man type of, you know, type of food. You know, the ramen spurred, or the ramen idea
cue the ramen.
Cue the ramen.
And it's beautifully done, though. It's not just, I think it's funny that you say that. It's like the working man's food, but it's not, you're taking something that is pretty simple,
right.
but you're making it into a very well done, well presented, beautiful dish. This is a gorgeous bowl of ramen.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
It tastes amazing, too.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite dishes was ramen as a kid, and I've eaten at tons of different ramen places around the country. For the pork belly ramen, we marinate our pork in beer the night before.
Oh, wow.
We smoke it, then we pull it out of the smoker, we braise it, and then we set it and let it sit again, and then we thin slice it to put it inside the ramen. So there's really a lot of thought in what we do. I wouldn't call it authentic Japanese ramen by any means, but it's our Cranstonian version of ramen. And if you look at the internet and all the sort of back and forth on it, people have been pretty psyched about it.
Yeah, I've just been hearing a lot of buzz about the ramen, and you have to try it.
Yeah.
So I really think it's been getting some fantastic feedback.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, of course. But you also have some really other delicious things in store. So let's start. Tell me a little bit about this guy.
So this is our pork sando, formerly known as the Pork Chop Express.
Okay.
It, again, is another use of pork belly. This is our food fight sandwich, so we figured we'd bring it, promote it, and basically it is a porchetta style sandwich, meaning that we're taking pork belly, pounding it, rolling it with herbs, hand tying it, baking it in the oven, and then hand slicing it so that there's a savory layer of skin, fat, and meat all in there, topped with apple chutney, mixed greens, and then pickled cabbage underneath, and hand-cut French fries. So it is pub food in its essence, and it's pretty delicious, if I do so say myself.
I wouldn't say that this is pub food. I think that this sounds like way above. This is a labor of love. You're really putting a lot of effort and thought and what's going into the flavors, the textures, what it's going to taste like when you bite into it, like you said, like layer of skin and the juiciness of it. There's a lot of thought that's going into this.
Yeah, I mean, the integrity really lies with, us operating a scratch kitchen to the best of our abilities, and, taking food and breaking it down from, how you would get it from the farm or from the butcher, and really like creating it into something. We could have, called up our local purveyor and got, pre-made porchetta, but that wouldn't be us, so that's not our style.
You got to put your own touch on this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is RI Food Fighters. You have to get your hands on the sandwich. I know that I'm excited to try it, and it's going to be a really, really good one.
Awesome.
So what's your favorite thing on the menu? I'm assuming that it might be the ramen, but other than that.
Well, this weekend we decided to sort of think outside the box a little bit.
Of course,
instead of doing our normal boiled dinner, we ended up doing corned beef banh mi sandwiches.
I heard.
Dude,
I
it was
heard
awesome.
About them. Oh my God, I had people calling me to tell me about them.
Well, they were super delicious.
Yeah.
We ended up doing chicken liver pate on them, pickled carrots, cucumbers and or cabbage. Super refreshing. They were wildly popular on St. Patrick's Day, and I think it was like definitely a panic moment for me where you hope you've chosen the right path when you develop a special for the weekend, but it was awesome and
sounds like it was a home run.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty good.
Absolutely.
So, I'll take home run. I'll take it.
I'm going with home run.
All right, I'll take it. All right.
So what other changes can we expect on Atwood Ave?
We're going to develop our patio into sort of more of like an outside beer garden. Right now it's just picnic tables out there, but we're going to put banquettes out there.
Awesome.
Some vegetation that, or vine growing, ivy, hops, morning glories, things that are going to grow and sort of make that space slightly more intimate. We're thinking about putting a pizza oven feature out there.
Ooh.
Whether or not that actually happens, that's on the list of things to talk about.
Definitely.
And then certainly, we've talked with Kyla Coburn, who's
amazing.
My homie, partner in crime, about getting in there and finishing the place out in its redesign. So hopefully that's in the next 6 months over there. So we're pretty excited about what the changes will be.
I'm pretty excited. I'm ready to go sit outside and drink maybe a rosé beer
on
a patio table. That sounds fantastic. You know, I think that it's a little bit gray right now, but we're that close. We're getting that taste of spring. We're all ready for that outdoor.
The windows are open at my house, that's for sure. So
I'm
ready.
it. Yes.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for coming in and bringing us this delicious food. Can't wait to dig into everything, and I'm going to have my own opinion on your very exciting ramen.
You let me know.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.
Thank you all so much. Thank you for coming in, and don't go anywhere because we have Roti Hen Cafe coming up in just a moment. Thanks so much for tuning back in. We just wrapped up with Sean Larkin of Revival Brewing Company, and he brought us some really delicious ramen. But we have a whole other breakfast spread in store. We are with Tiffany Barrera of Roti Hen Cafe. Just opened up not too long ago in Pawtucket, and we are so excited to have you in the studio today.
Thank you very much.
Of course. So Tiffany, tell me a little bit about yourself and your background that led you to open the Roti Hen.
So, from Attleboro, Massachusetts originally, born and raised. I went to Johnston Wills in Providence, Rhode Island. So I have a great culinary background with a food service management background also. Just spent my time in the restaurant, did every position under the sun. And then my husband and I, once we got together, kind of created this little nest, and it bloomed into a nice little bunch of chickens in a way, right?
A bunch of chickens, I'll take it. No, I like that. You have the culinary side and the food business management side. So you can really, like you said, you can work any position in the restaurant. You have it down. But both front of the house and the back of the house, you've got it.
Correct.
So in terms of owning a restaurant, you're very well versed in just about everything that's going on.
Correct.
That is awesome. So tell me about the vision that you had for Roti Hen when the idea came to mind.
So there were many visions that we had. We actually started off with the food trailer, and we almost had it completed, and then decided that with New England being all different seasons,
it's true.
It might have been a little bit easier just to have a nice little spot to have that was stationary. So we found this great little brick and mortar spot right in Pawtucket, and we decided just to go for it. So we broke ground in October with renovating, and as of November 17th, we've opened our doors and haven't closed them since.
Oh, that is so awesome. Now, where in Pawtucket can we find you?
We are on 350 Prospect Street, right in Pawtucket, close to Memorial Hospital.
That is awesome. So I can't wait to come in and give
Thank
you
you.
guys a visit. Now, what I love most is that you are a scratch kitchen. So everything is being made in-house, and it just shows that you have love that you're putting into your recipes. So tell me a little bit about what goes into your cooking and the thought behind making the menu.
So basically everything on our menu is stuff that my husband and I and our family love to eat. So when we have a lot of guests that ask us what's our favorite item, it's I think the hardest thing to answer because everything is.
So you cook what you love.
We cook what we love, and that's the biggest part is making sure it tastes like home cooking. It's comfort cooking, it's comfort food, comfortable atmosphere, and just a lot of laughs and smiles. With our food itself, like you said, it is a scratch kitchen. We basically, our freezer is nothing, so it's all fresh produce from locally sourced items. I'm actually going to be getting some local duck eggs from my cousin who owns a farm in Attleboro called Pine Valley Stables, so we'll be doing that soon.
Really cool. I don't know if I've ever had duck eggs.
They're amazing. They're so good. So that will be a special coming soon, so check out our website.
Have to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
So you're definitely incorporating a lot of local goods into your cooking.
Yes.
That is awesome. So where are you sourcing dairy, eggs?
We're sourcing everything. It is a little bit tough right now with the season. Farmers markets, we go there, especially the Winter's Farmers Market in Pawtucket. We'll just go get some great produce and use it either for the specials that weekend or for the week. But whatever we can get local, we will. We try to get local honey for all our sweeteners that we try to do. I'm a local beekeeper too myself.
Oh my God! Is there anything you don't do?
I don't want to brag, but yeah.
That's amazing.
So we try to get a little bit of everything because with Rhode Island we have so much to offer here.
Absolutely.
So why not
Might as
use
well
our
tap
own,
into those.
Exactly, our own sources here. That's why with my saying it's small state but big plate because we
Small
got a lot
state,
of stuff
big plate.
here.
I love that. Coined it by you.
Yep.
Definitely.
Exactly,
Yes. So tell me a little bit. You guys do breakfast and lunch.
Yep.
Tell me about what you brought with you today because this smells like. I can't believe it. It smells so good. Yes.
So these are two major dishes that everyone loves. I didn't bring the third one, which is the hash and eggs. But these right here is going to be our huevos rancheros with the carne asada.
Yes.
And traditionally, you're going to serve it with the onions and peppers on top of the huevos, on top of the eggs. With my husband being from El Salvador, he has a little flair into it.
Yeah, puts his own touch on everything.
Exactly.
And so he's in the kitchen cooking with you?
So whenever you're there and you see the big guy, tall guy in the back with the backwards hat, that's Antonio.
We have to say hello to him.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we're going to have our freshly grilled, marinated hanger steak tips.
Beautiful.
We're going to have our black frijoles with the pico de gallo that we make fresh every day.
Yum.
Avocado and the eggs with also the tortillas.
This looks so good.
It's really good. And we always serve it with the Cholula hot sauce,
I love Cholula hot sauce. And, you know, break open that yolk, and it is like,
go to town.
The best.
Just go to town.
This is like and this is not a small portion. This is definitely going to fill you up.
You know?
Start your day off right. We all know that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It's supposed to start off something strong to power through.
You have every food group in there.
This is it. All the good stuff right in here. Now, this looks really good.
As every restaurant has their own style of chicken and waffles.
Yes.
So we have our Belgian waffles right here.
Of course.
Of course, cooked fresh to order. And then with our chicken tenders, they're not frozen. So it's going to be freshly breaded chicken tenderloins to order also.
Wow.
And we serve it with our homemade maple butter and some fresh either greens of the day or baby spinach. It just has that little fiber to it. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. A little extra touch.
Yeah, and we serve it also with real maple syrup.
Oh,
you can't have the
you can't have that. You know, that is so important that you say that because when you see like the just junky maple syrup, like it doesn't even really add anything.
It just adds sugar.
Yeah, but when you have the good maple syrup, it really just enhances all the flavors on your dish.
Exactly.
I'll put maple syrup on anything. I'll put it in my Bloody Mary if I really have to. Yes. Now, you guys also serve a great lunch menu as well. So what can we find on the lunch menu? I know it's a hard question, but what's your favorite?
I'd have to say our Cuban sandwiches.
Ooh,
we freshly roast our pork loin almost every day because it's such a huge hit over there.
Yeah.
We do it with our fresh baked bread, our ham, the pork loin, the Swiss cheese, and we also do a little honey Dijon mustard and some other love that I can't say because I'll give away our secret
recipe.
But our Cuban is a great one. We also have hand-packed hamburgers that we do. Our Roti burger has sliced chorizo and a sunny side up egg on top of
Oh
it.
my God.
So it's just a little bit of something for everybody. We also have our salads too. You know, if you just want a little salad,
A little
and
healthy, light and
our
healthy.
soups. Antonio makes the best soups. Everyone
Oh,
raves about
you know-
our roasted chicken vegetable soup, and of course our chowders and our fish and chips on Fridays that we have.
Oh, that sounds awesome. So you do Friday specials, fish and chips. You know, we all love fish and chips in Rhode Island.
Amazing.
Yeah, you have to
Fresh
get
attic.
your seafood in
Oh,
too.
so good.
That is awesome. Now, I saw you making fresh mozzarella on
Yes.
Instagram, and I was like, oh my God, that is amazing. So you
Yes.
really are. You're making everything from scratch, and all those little ingredients that you wouldn't necessarily think of that would be so easy to just
Yeah.
get in bulk somewhere, but you're really taking the time, you're putting the love, the
Put
thought
love
into
to
it.
it.
It
Exactly.
really does make the difference. That is
Yeah.
awesome. Now, another thing I saw on Instagram is your Bloody Mary bar, and
know.
that definitely sparked my interest because I'm a big, big Bloody Mary fan.
Oh, perfect.
I absolutely love it. So you just got a liquor license.
Correct.
Very, very exciting and a complete
It
game
is.
changer.
It
So you
is
go
very
from just
exciting.
breakfast
It's
to
a little hard for me to taste my concoctions, as you can see.
It's okay.
But
Soon enough.
Soon enough. But that's the best part over there is that
Yes.
even when my guests come, I let them try a little bit, and they do have a lot of influence into what I put on the menu and also for my cocktails.
Oh, awesome.
So with our Bloody Marys, I do a fresh Bloody Mary mix. We shake it to order, and it's gluten-free. We use Tito's. And then with the pickles, I pickle my own peppers, pickle my own green beans.
Amazing.
We do a little bit spicier, but we can also do it on mild side
I like
too.
it
and
hot.
I even do prosciutto wrapped asparagus. We just make it fun, and all the condiments come together with no additional charge.
Oh my gosh, that is just the best. I mean, I think that I love, the condiments are the best part of a Bloody Mary. You get to sell, it's like having a snack with your cocktail.
It's like a liquid salad.
And you pickle. I like that, a liquid salad. I'm gonna go with that from now on. It's healthy. It's a liquid salad. I'm counting it. And I love that you're pickling your own vegetables. And it, like I said, just adds that extra touch that makes it so good.
You can tell.
Yeah,
You can
definitely
tell if
shines
it's from a can
through.
or if it's from a true homemade canning process. you know?
Absolutely, definitely. Now, when I drink my Bloody Marys, I do love them traditionally with vodka, but I love them with mezcal because it adds that little
Mezcal.
smokiness,
It's true.
extra spicy. Just
It's
I
funny
love
say
that.
because I've actually have a smoky roadie Bloody Mary, and we do it with scotch.
Ooh, that's so
a little bit something
interesting.
different.
I'm gonna have to give that a try because I
is.
want to try all the Bloody Marys, and I think that would be really interesting.
It's really good.
Definitely. Now we're getting that taste of spring. The weather is slowly creeping up in temperature. We're all really excited for summer.
Yeah.
What do we have in the works for outside?
For outside, so we are planning on doing a little patio seating outside our front door. We're going to spruce it up a little bit and give our front entrance area just a nice little spot to hang out, have a cup of coffee and some type of breakfast or a lunch, or just have a nice like conversation outside.
Oh, that is just
Yeah.
lovely. We are ready for summer. We're ready for spring. It's about to be here. So you can have your breakfast, your lunch, your Bloody Mary
Exactly.
right outside.
Exactly.
It doesn't get much better
That's
than that.
great.
Yes. So where can we find you on maybe social media? That way we can stay up to
Yep.
date with your patio, with your Bloody
Yeah,
Marys,
so
and all the things that you've
You're
got
going to
going on.
find us on the Rhody Hen Cafe on Instagram, and also on Facebook, the same thing, Rhody Hen Cafe. And you just follow the chicken. She's all
Follow the
around
chicken.
place.
Oh, I
Exactly.
love it. Yes. Well, you have so much great things going on. We're really, really excited for you to be bringing this breakfast spot to Pawtucket and, really expanding everything, having your liquor license, being able to have kind of brunch cocktails along with everything. It is just really superpower.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for
Appreciate it.
joining us
You're
today.
welcome. Anytime.
Of course. And don't go anywhere because we have another guest coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning back in. We just wrapped up with the Roti Hen Cafe with some very delicious smelling breakfast food, and we are back with some handmade Jamaican patties with Chef Conroy. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, Ja Patty, Rhode Island, you are taking over with Jamaican flavors. You're bringing this to Rhode Island, and we're really excited to have you.
Oh, thank you.
So before we really get into everything, I'd love for you to tell me about yourself, your background, how you got into cooking.
So my name is Conroy. I originally from Jamaica. I started cooking with I started with my mom. My mom was in the kitchen, and
Mom was a good cook?
Mom was a good cook. Just watching her, and I was always fascinated about the flavors and the smell. And then I started watching this show, Love Boat, and started watching the chefs and just how they, the attire and just the presentation, and that's where I got the bug, And then I went to school and I majored in food and beverage.
Great.
And then I came to America in 1990, and then I worked my way from being a boss boy up to being a GM. So during that journey, I just worked with a lot of different chefs, learned so much along the way, a lot of mentors, and my partner and I decided to open Ja Patty.
Yes.
So very excited.
Oh, we're so excited to have you. So that's wonderful. You started all from home, and it really grew from there.
Right.
So and you've able to work every position in the restaurant, from
yes.
busboy to
so I was a
executive
busboy,
chef.
I was a waiter, with a GM, and now my next step is to be an executive chef, which I'm having fun with all the experience and all the flavors and all the great people that's out there. We just put everything together and having fun doing it.
That's amazing.
Yep.
So tell me a little bit about Jamaican patties, the hand pies. They're a staple of Jamaica. So tell me a little bit about what goes into them, how they're made, and some of the flavors that we can find in them.
So traditional in Jamaica, I used to make the patties in Jamaica, and we use the local ingredients. And here we try to, our patties are on the healthier version. And when I say healthy, is we use vegetable shortening instead of heavy fat content.
Yeah.
And we also make sure that our ratio is nice and flavorful, so it's not saturated in fat. We use local ingredients as possible, and then some of our spices are from Jamaica, and our curries are from India.
Oh, wow.
So we focus
a lot.
lot.
They're really flavor forward. They've
Very,
got a lot of spices and sauces going on to really bring out that flavor.
Right, and it's very easy to heat. It's very handheld. It's clean. It's there's no a lot of trash involved.
Yeah, it's easy. It's portable. You can grab one on the go for breakfast, for lunch.
Exactly.
And they're very filling. So what flavors do you typically have?
So traditionally, we have beef, jerk chicken, and veg.
Okay.
Our veg is chickpea and carrots, and it's cooked in a coconut curry. And then,
oh my God, that sounds so good.
Delicious. And because our dough is a signature dough, we can put anything inside of it. So when we do have catering events, and someone wants something specific inside the dough, we're happy to oblige.
Wow. So can I get an example? What else could I put in this dough?
Well, for example, let's say we have some events, there's children are there, and they want to have cheese inside there. We can. If someone wants to put some filet inside of it, you can. I mean, so whatever. And even for desserts,
you can customize the patties. Exactly what you're looking for. So if you're having a party with kids and they want the cheese, which sounds really good,
absolutely.
Cheese hand pie, that sounds awesome. You can really make it what you want.
Exactly. And we do have a larger menu, but when we do have, we customize our food for the event. And so, so we're bigger than, so more than just a Jamaican cuisine, but if someone wants something that's a little bit more beyond their scope, we're very friendly to sit down and make it happen.
Oh, that is amazing. You're really able to get the customer what they're looking for.
Exactly.
Now, you mentioned you have special dough. You hand make this dough. So tell me what goes into the dough. If you've ever had a Jamaican hand pie, a patty, it's just like crispy but flaky and just absolutely heavenly. Right. How do you get it to taste so good?
Well, it's all about the knitting of the dough, and it's really, besides the ingredients, it's how you knit the dough, how long you knit the dough, and the level of how you in the mixer. So it's a very delicate process.
Yes.
And the amount of air that's exposed to it, and it has to be completed at a certain time. So it's not just making the dough and put the filling in. It's a time. The timing is involved, and the temperature of the cooling is involved, and it's really a very delicate dough. It's a very buttery base. It's a vegetable-based dough.
Okay.
So we put a lot of time into it.
It sounds like it's a labor of love.
It's a labor of love, and labor intensive.
It takes some time, but it's very, very well worth it in the end.
Yeah. But also, I'm sorry, but we're also doing our vegan dough as well.
Oh.
We're doing a pop-up with Like No Other, and we're looking forward to launching that aspect there as well.
So you'll be having a vegan dough. Oh, that is so amazing, because
yes,
we have a lot of friends who, whether they have dietary restrictions or they have a vegan lifestyle, and they're able to enjoy your patties.
Sure.
So when is your pop-up with Like No Other?
So it'll be in a couple of weeks. I'm not quite sure of the date. I'm so sorry about that. But when we're not at the Like No Other, we're also at the Long Live Beer Brewery.
Long Live Beer Works. We love it over there.
Stock Culinary Goods.
So tell me about your pop-ups with Stock Culinary Goods, because we love Stock right over on Hope Street. They've always got everything that you need for your kitchen, but also they host a lot of pop-ups. So we're glad that you're going to be one of them.
Definitely.
Tell me about what you're going to be doing at Stock.
So we're there every other Thursday. And we feature all 3 patties, and then we also occasionally have our hibiscus iced tea as well. That's there. So every Thursday we'll be at Stock, and they're great guys over there. I mean, like I said, fantastic atmosphere. Our clients love it. We're there. When we're there, this patty, you can smell the patty inside the store. So it'll
definitely hook you right in.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great spot.
Absolutely.
Really great spot.
And so you'll have a hibiscus iced tea, so you can have a patty and a drink, and it's just going to be the perfect meal.
Exactly.
Oh,
and it's not too much. You have to handle the hands. It's very easy, and it's very
compact.
It's compact, definitely. And everyone has an experience with a patty. When someone has a patty, they think about Jamaica.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh, I'd love to think about Jamaica. This is Jamaica right in one little bite.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is awesome.
Absolutely.
So tell me what you've got in the works for Jaw Patty.
So for Jaw Patty, we have our food trailers coming up, and we're proud to say that we're the first Jamaican food trailer in Rhode Island.
First Jamaican food truck in Rhode Island, and we are here for it. We are ready for it.
And so we get involved to work with Food Truck Inc. With Eric Wiener, and get involved with Providence Art Festival. Awesome. Also with the Newport Jazz and the Bristol parade that's coming up, and also on Mondays we're at the Parlor. On North Main Street.
Yeah, so, you can be pulled up right there.
Pulled up, yes. But right now we do patties inside. Every morning playing reggae. They have the reggae show there, so we do the patties.
That's perfect.
And our goal is to be your one-stop shop in Jamaican cuisine here in Rhode Island. So we're very excited to work with all those other great guys out there in the farmers markets as well. We're at the Pawtucket Winter Market. We're at the Bristol Market. We're also at the Newport Winery Market as well.
So you're all over the place.
Yes, we are.
We can find you at the winter markets right now. We can find you in the food trailers and the food truck scene coming up, and we love the food trucks.
Sure.
It makes it easy for you because you can go to where the people are. So whether it's at Jazz Fest or at the food truck festivals, you can pull right up to you. Now, what other kind of foods, aside from the patties, will you be serving on the food trailers?
So we do rice bowls.
Rice bowls,
okay. So we do our famous rice and peas with jerk chicken with beet slaw. We also have our curry chicken as well, which is reduced in a nice curry coconut flavor, served over jasmine white rice, and a nice drizzle of tamarind ginger sauce. Yeah. We have our nice flavored plantain dishes. We're looking to do gourmet sandwiches. So based on the event, we customize the menu. Like I said, we have a real elaborate menu. We have goat dishes. We have the oxtail, which we cooked it like ossobuco.
Oh, I love that.
So those are all our catering orders. So we do from weddings. So whatever you want, we have it.
You've got it covered.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that is so exciting. Now, what is the mission? What is your goal of Jaw Patty?
So the core mission of Jaw Patty is really education in children. My partner, Alison Rosario, she's a local, she's a school nurse, and she has a very passion about working in Jamaica. So the core behind Jaw Patty is to really connect youth from all over through education.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a really great story to have behind it.
Thank you.
Yes. And now, where are you doing all of your cooking currently?
We are currently out of Hope and Maine in Warren.
Hope and Maine. Producing another hot one. We love
right.
it. It's so great that Hope and Maine can act as this incubator and produce so many great local small businesses and help them thrive. And we're so glad that you're one of them.
Sure. I'm happy to be there.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for coming in today and bringing your patties for us to try. We cannot wait to dig into them. And we're looking forward to visiting you at your pop-ups, Stock Culinary Goods, Long Live Beer Works, and a list of others that we'll definitely link in the write-up to go along with this.
Sure.
Excellent.
So one thing I want to say thanks to all my customers.
Yes.
Who come to the markets. We appreciate all your business. Thank you so much.
Of course.
All right, cheers.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah.
Of course. And thank you all so much for tuning in. And until next week, we'll see you soon.